for our first live episode in 3, 2. It's the 329th episode of the Unranked Podcast. Welcome. This is Christian Humes here with Alex Tuna.
Yep.
Alex Tuna.
And Tom Caswell.
Hey, everyone. How is it hanging?
What's up, boys? Who's excited for today's Pokemon? I kind of want to jump right into it because last week we talked about Trapinch, the 328th Pokemon. Today's 329th Pokemon. And although I was claiming last week, of course, like no one's getting up. No one's getting up in the morning. Trapinch ain't getting you up in the morning.
No.
But if you're aware of Trapinch's evolutionary line,
we're getting somewhere.
maybe you are. So Trapinch is one of 3 Pokemon in its line. This is, of course, the ugly stepchild evolution. What's interesting about this, and I'm just going to find my phone because I have my notes on it, and I don't know where I put it down. That's fine. I actually have my notes on my computer. I'll do that. So this Pokemon's not actually based on a dragonfly. It's based on a species of bug that looks like a dragonfly. However, this second stage does add the dragon typing to it. Now, you would think that that is beneficial, but otherwise, the moveset on this Pokemon isn't necessarily the greatest. So actually, quite often, people will recommend that you don't even evolve Trapinch. And you allow Trapinch, skip level, I think it's like level 34, level 35 where it evolves. Level 35 where it evolves into Vibrava. But people will suggest that you skip it, hold off on the evolution, and then allow it to evolve at 44 into Vibrava, and then 45. And the reason for that is Vibrava doesn't add any like good specific dragon type moves. And because it's not necessarily known for flying, it's still sort of stuck in that like intermediary. It's on the ground, but it has wings. It doesn't really get good flying type moves either, but you'll get an enormous XP boost if you hold out Trapinch. You'll evolve the Trapinch faster. You'll get your moves up faster. You get a stat buff if you just kind of skip that intermediary step. So that tells you how people feel about its intermediary Pokemon, which is kind of why last week I said no one's getting up early in this, because this is one of those Pokemon. First 2 stages, not that great. Last stage, fucking great. The final evolution of Vibrava is awesome. But yeah, it's the mature form of the Antillean, which, although looks like Dragonfly, is not a Dragonfly. What do you think, Tuna? Taking a look at Vibrava.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, you know, it's got some rhombusy looking wings. Should have named it Rhomba. But yeah, you know, the name may be a combination of vibrate and larva, or it may also derive from Vibra.
What's Vibra?
It's okay. I don't know. Do I look like a fucking dictionary?
I want to gauge Tuna.
Vibra sounds like an adult toy.
Yeah,
it's a European dragon, legendary creature in folklore and mythology among the overlapping cultures of Europe.
A Vibra from Europe. Now, I want to gauge Tuna on this. So everything Chris just described. Hold off on the evolution, XP boost. You know, becomes a dragon type, but it doesn't get any good moves. Like, you really want to hold off. Too much. Bin it. Bin the whole line. Just get rid of it.
Just make it. Forget. No. Not the whole line.
Yeah, you don't need it.
Third stage is great. Third stage is great. People are going to be mad about this. Someone's going to. I'll tell you what.
This.
In the past, many times we've suggested a Pokemon is not a fan favorite. Then we get a message on the Discord. I love that Pokemon. I guarantee you, Flygon's got fans. Flygon's got
that's
following.
next week.
That is next week. You're right. So we'll be talking about that next week. But Vibrava, that's all there is to say, I think, about this Pokemon. People don't really like it that much. So there we go. Let's move on. All right, boys, what's up?
Just
Nothing.
chilling, man. Yeah.
Yeah. little tired. we're burned out. Honestly, I think I'm burned out from a lot of different, from the TV shows. It's just
the TV,
just a lot, man.
The TV is what's burning you out. It's not work
TV's
or
burning
doing this
me out.
podcast or anything.
Or working while also trying to take care of a almost 10-month-old now. So I watched Miss Marvel. I like it. I think it's good, solid. Kenobi.
Episode 2 was awesome. I haven't seen episode 3, but
all right, well, Kenobi, good times, some bad times.
We all finished Kenobi?
We've all finished Kenobi.
Okay,
well,
cool.
I
we caught up. We caught up so that I could finish it, so we could talk about it for the post show. We could do a little chat during it, I think.
No,
but for spoilers, we should move to. We should. Put that in post.
I stole. I'm gonna. Well, actually, I don't want to say anything. But what I will say is that Kenobi has its ups.
Yeah,
it's got its downs.
It's uneven,
and there's a lot of things that have happened in the 6 episodes that I've been like, that was dumb. But
should have been a movie.
Probably should have been a movie. I was telling this to Tom, and I'm sure you. Actually, I don't even know if you'll agree. This isn't my own idea. I read this. Because of now the fact that we are paying a monthly subscription to these services, especially Disney, they are incentivized to stretch out the story over a 6-episode, 8-episode arc, whatever, that could have been a movie or could have been faster and more compelling in an ad run show, because the ads would have to generate the revenue and the show has to be good. Whereas they already know you're paying for this shit. You've already paid. They're not getting you to pay more. They know you're going to sign up. You're already signed up. So there was an argument there for the ad.
I think that's actually a short-sighted look, because the ad run stuff, you then have to capitulate a lot to what your sponsors want, so you can't do as many things. Whereas if it's fully funded, you're allowed to do and spend whatever you want. Ad run stuff has traditionally been beholden to what the sponsors want, so then that limits the show.
True, but the show,
ads have never made the quality of a show better, and Disney's not a company
higher
that
ad
needs
revenue
money.
The more you get higher ad revenue, the more popular the show is, though.
Yes.
Charge more for the ads.
Yeah, but I mean, look, there's a reason we switched over. We love Premiere TV, right? It's not just because we're not watching ads. It's because without the ads, they're able to make better things because they know we have this guaranteed
Is that
money.
dying? Is that dying, though?
No, it's not dying, but it's absolute. Streaming stuff is not dying, but it's more of there was a gold rush. There's oversaturation, and now there's going to be a market correction.
I feel like this article made a really good point where I feel like a lot of these shows that I've been watching, nothing is happening for episodes. Like nothing very compelling is happening. Maybe like 2 or 3 things are compelling in an episode that could have been truncated, that could have been 15 minutes.
But at the same time, at the end of the day, ad-based television. I mean, you're looking at like 20
was so much worse
seasons.
Yeah, it was so much longer, so much more drawn out, with even less happening.
That's fine. I mean, that's. I agree with you. I just feel like at the beginning of the streaming thing, I feel like there were a lot of. I just feel like
I'll say this,
especially with Kenobi.
Let
me finish this one point, then you can. All right, one thing. I just feel like, especially with Kenobi and Marvel, I feel like not a lot has happened. Like the latest episode of Marvel, which I won't spoil, was a long way to get to one point.
Yeah, I think though. Okay, so,
but
I know what you are saying.
We're taking forever. We're taking 6 hours to do something that I
was going to say that I don't buy the whole ads make content better.
All right, forget the ad thing.
But I do think that they are looking at it from a standpoint of we have to, in a year, we now have a service that we need to constantly be filling with content and compete with these other services. We need to fill out a calendar. We need to there always has to be a Star Wars or a Marvel show happening. So I do think that there are projects that they're probably looking at and being like, oh, we could convert this into a show versus a film.
Which Obi-Wan specifically was.
Obi-Wan is really, I mean, it's not the first one. Like, I definitely think Moon Knight
Boba Fett was also. Movie. Yeah, Moon Knight. Yeah, totally agree. I think Obi-Wan and Moon Knight are actually of the same quality. They're both kind of like, oh, they could have been great, but they were just good.
But this is what I mean. I feel like I'm just burned out. 6 episodes of something that like I feel could have been a movie, and it's just like you're wasting my. Well,
I think this is pandemic. I think this is pandemic. I think we got used to the new type of like watching tons of stuff all the time. And before the pandemic, you didn't. People would miss Marvel movies. They'd have to catch them later. Like now everyone feels like they have to watch everything right when it comes out, and they have to be plugged in all the time because everyone's online more. Everyone's watching stuff more. Right. And now we're trying to go back to the way things were, and you don't have time to keep up with the kind of shit that we were watching during the pandemic when you couldn't do anything.
Right. The other thing I would say about if they ever think of doing a Darth Vader series, Darth Vader better come out looking like a fucking badass who doesn't lose fights. Okay, so he better just like, I feel like he's like he needs to. I feel like the guy needs to win.
You don't think he looked like a badass in Obi-Wan?
So this is what me and Tuna were talking about.
Yeah,
I was just like, the more
didn't.
In a lot
he was the most powerful he's looked in anything other than the end of Rogue One.
But the fact that he didn't fight, the fact that everyone was super afraid of him, the fact that he was just that presence, I feel like the more and more you have him fight and the more and more you have him lose, it cheapens the character. That's what I feel. I really do.
So Tuna and I were talking about this, where it's like the mystique of Vader and like going to that Rogue One moment. That Rogue One moment is phenomenal. For the reason that he is able to completely just tear through. Able to just tear through. Now, don't get me wrong.
It's a little much. I think they made him into like an anime character, and it's like kind of weird. But it was like I loved it, but I also like don't want to think about it more than like a second, because the second I do, it's like, he's going to be fighting Obi-Wan in 30 minutes.
Outside of that Rogue One moment, right? He is the most iconic villain of all time, right?
He is Star Wars.
And I was like, so much of this episode was an allusion also to what happens in Rebels with a fight with Ahsoka, which kind of goes down the same way, which is kind of like he is overconfident and he's like, I'm going to destroy you, I'm going to kill you, and Ahsoka kicks his ass. But he is defeated. And I feel that like the mystique of Vader is that he is terrifying, and that if he shows up, your days are numbered. But they keep having him lose fights.
Well, but here's the thing. Isn't that the whole point of this? Is that this wasn't Vader yet? He's still Anakin, and that's why the only people that can beat him are the people that mattered to Anakin: Ahsoka, Obi-Wan, Luke. He can't beat them. He'll always be, his weakness will be his attachments. That's why he became Vader. So it's also the thing that allows him to lose. It's like his attachment to Obi-Wan, his attachment to Ahsoka, his attachment to Luke.
Yeah,
so
but
it's perfectly in line with his character.
But if you're doing that, and then you're also having lines of dialogue that are also like, Anakin Skywalker is dead, it's just messy. It's just messy. Let me just put it that way. Because
but that's what Vader wants. He wants to believe Anakin Skywalker is dead. But if he wouldn't have lost that fight. If Anakin Skywalker was totally dead and that was Darth Vader, that their fight in the last episode would end very differently. Would it not? Like if it weren't an attachment to Obi-Wan, why wouldn't he?
I don't know. He looked like he was giving it. He was giving it his all. It feels. But either way,
there's a very specific moment in which he could have ended Obi-Wan, no problem.
Either way, I feel. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I also.
But he walks away because he couldn't do it. He couldn't witness it. He had to do it in a way in which he didn't see it happen.
Right. I do think that's a good point. I just think it's it's not necessarily just like the fighting. It's the more we see, like the more you show, the less magical it kind of becomes.
I agree.
And like Boba Fett, that was Boba Fett's biggest problem, is like everyone fucking loved Boba Fett, even though he got his ass clowned in Return of the Jedi.
Also, like that actor's not like the greatest.
Tamora,
he was fine.
Whatever his name is.
He was fine, but we have like kind of an older guy doing this that like no one knows. No one knows Boba Fett without the mask on, and that's what we're getting for a really long time. Wasn't the most charismatic person. There were a lot of bigger problems with that than just learning more about. But I hear what you're saying. I look at it differently because I don't believe this is Vader. I believe if we were to get a Vader series, it would take place after the events that just happened, and it would be much more Vader. But what we watched was Anakin, right? And that's why Obi-Wan kept calling him Anakin.
But there's not much left until New Hope.
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah.
The fight, though, other than spoilers, Obi-Wan and Vader.
If Vader deals with someone that's not Ahsoka or Obi-Wan or Luke, he's Darth Vader, is my point.
Gotcha.
And when he's fighting Luke, and who he knows is his son, he becomes Anakin, which is why he couldn't kill Luke, and he made Luke fall down a thing. He becomes Anakin, which is why
down a thing.
Yeah, he made Luke feel like he wouldn't.
What a funny way to
think about it. He could have killed Luke, right? He could have killed Luke. He didn't. He could have killed Ahsoka. He didn't. He could have killed Obi-Wan. He didn't. He couldn't watch any of them die. So it's very clear that that's like consistent with the character.
He kills Obi-Wan, no problem.
Because at that point, he's Vader. Like he's turned into Vader.
Said anytime he sees Obi-Wan, he's fucking not Vader.
In the past.
Ugh. Hoops.
Anyway.
We're jumping through hoops.
Alex, if you rewind to 30 seconds, just said at the end of this, he's no longer Anakin, he's Vader.
But he's Anakin in Empire Strikes Back when he faces Luke.
For Luke, because he's just found out about it. I think the attachment to his son is different. You can't. Why can't you have a dynamic character?
You can, but that's not being dynamic. That's jumping through hoops to get the point across.
How is it not being dynamic? That his relationship with different characters allows him to have different responses to them.
Because you were saying that he's not until when he fights these three people, and then you were like, but now he's Vader. But then he's
Anyway,
well,
let us know what you thought of it.
Agree to disagree. It doesn't even matter what anyone thinks because opinions don't matter. So
there you go.
On TV shows, anyway. The Matrix solved that one.
Right. Matrix sucked.
Matrix Resurrection solved that one.
Matrix is the worst franchise ever.
Oh, Tom is coming for you.
I'm not coming.
That Jurassic Park, two of the worst franchises ever in the history.
I mean, I still stand from the opinion that Jurassic Park is a B movie that, like Jaws, it's a series of like B movies that somehow made one of the most like important films of all time.
I mean,
and then the rest of them are what Jurassic Park is like a B movie franchise.
The first one's incredible.
The first one's amazing. Just like Jaws. The first one's amazing.
But like
great. The concept of it is it's a monster movie, right? It's a shark monster. Somehow they made an incredible shark monster movie. The rest of them, not so much. Same thing with Jurassic Park. Because it's like, it's a one story kind of concept that you're really going to drive home there. And that's it. Like after that, you're just iterating on it. So it's never going to be as good as the original. So there you go.
All right. Obi-Wan. What have we been playing?
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm not playing. I mean, I just played It Takes Two with Chris.
Yep. We finished it today.
Finished it.
Yes.
Great game. Fantastic game. Game of the year. We won't go into it because we know Tom had different view.
I didn't. I said it was like one of my favorite games ever. I just don't think the writing or the story is great. But from a gameplay standpoint, I think it's.
Do you have the clip? Could we insert? I wish we could insert clips.
No,
I wish we had someone behind the scenes.
When we first talked about it, I said it's like my game of the year.
You might have, but you also said some other things that were ridiculous.
I don't think the story is.
I wish I had the quote. I think it was something like, "You don't want to play this game with your significant other because it will cause issues between you and."
You were creating. You
did say that.
Fake.
You did actually say that.
Fake news.
I didn't say that I didn't want to play it with my significant other. I was saying that essentially I can't believe we're fucking drudging this up from a year and a half ago. But I was saying that some people were making that as criticism, and I don't agree that it's necessarily. But what I mean is, what I feel about that game is that there are important lessons that I feel like the game could have given, and it doesn't do that. It goes a way more like lower rung. Like it's doing everything for humor and laughs and things like that. I feel like there isn't as much heart in the game as I wanted. Anyway, it's a game's year and a half. I think it's incredible. I think it's an amazing video game.
I remember Tom did say he liked playing the gameplay.
The gameplay is phenomenal.
Which at the end of the day, Alex and I are in agreement. Gameplay is king.
Yeah.
Most of the time. There's games where it's about the story. So like, fine, fair enough. The story should be important there. But that game is
I still can't tell you what the story of Elden Ring was.
There you go.
Could you try?
I was at no. I don't even think I can try. I have no idea what was.
Isn't it like the beginning of the game? You find out like there's this thing and you gotta like kill it. No, there you go.
Yeah, the Elden Ring was created to seal bad dudes in the tree, and Godric became an essence or something like that, and he was king. But then Margaret was king, and then but he wasn't, and then he was like, but he is. And then there's other people that like the Lord of Bones or something is having sex with the
Dung Eater,
like a young person, and you're a tarnished, which you fought in some war, but now you're not fighting in the war anymore, and you need a handmaiden, but you don't get the handmaiden. And then what is it called? Yeah, the whatever. And then all I remember from that game is just being like, okay, I want to kill stuff and get better, and this is really challenging. Okay, this is actually kind of fun. And then I'm getting cool powers and cool weapons now. I'm just following the story. Well, no, I'm not following the story. I'm following arrows. And then Naraka became the guy with the red hair who was also married to the moon woman.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
and then Renala's this daughter. I don't know.
Speaking of a game that has a good story and good gameplay, it has both. Neon White is fun, fucking nominal.
That was the game I meant to play. Tell me about it. I want to hear more.
It's fantastic. I talked about it a little last week, but I played so much since then. Yeah, basically, you play as a Neon. You are someone who is from a spirit from hell who has been brought to heaven. You have to clear heaven of demons, and the person that kills the most demons gets to spend a year in heaven. And then they do this every year, this competition. And you are Neon White. You have a crew that knew you in the real world, Neon Red, Yellow, and Violet. You have no memory of your past life, but they remember you. And the person that you have to beat, the person that wins every year, is Neon Green, who you also know. And Neon Green, yeah, he's won every year. He lives in heaven. And the story takes some interesting turns. It's awesome. It's a speed running game. There's a bunch of levels. Basically, there are cards, right? You're picking up cards as you go, depending.
What are you playing on?
Steam Deck. So I have it on Steam, but it is on Switch or Steam. And yeah, so you're just, it's just a small instance of a level, and the idea is that you're running through and picking up these cards. Each of the cards represents a different type of gun. So there's like a pistol that's a single shot. There's like an SMG, a marksman rifle or whatever. But then they also have secondary alternate fires that allow you to move faster in the level. So, for example, the marksman rifle allows you to dash forward in a straight line. The SMG, if you do the alternate fire, shoots like an explosive, like a grenade kind of, and then you can use that to propel yourself up. The handgun allows you to do a double jump. The thing is, though, is that the cards, if you use the alternate fire, are expended. So you don't have the card if you use the alternate fire to traverse. But it's, yeah, and then each level, there's a bronze, silver, gold, ace is the top speed. And the goal is just to do it as fast as you can to increase your rank, and because you need your rank to increase to open up new levels. And
what if you're unranked?
Well, if you're unranked, you're not going to get anywhere because you need to be a rank of some kind. You go to hell if yeah. So it's just the gameplay is so much fun, and I think I mentioned it last week, and it's just become more and more true that like, getting like it's the perfect difficulty of like getting the ace like badge doesn't feel impossible. I'm not there like banging my head over like for hours just trying to get it on the same level. You know, I am having to do it multiple times, but it goes by so quickly that like that you're satiated. Like, you know what I mean? Like within like 5 minutes, I have the ace. I have the gift. There are hidden gifts on each of the levels that you give to your teammates, and then unlocks dialogue, side quests, and the side quests are all variants. So, for example, in Yellow's side quests, you don't have the alternate fire. You have to do the path with just the weapons and like regular movement. Red is like the opposite of that. Red's is all about using just alternate fire. And then Violet's is like a punishing gauntlet that's like one wrong step and like you'll die. Yeah, it's awesome. Like it literally like more and more people are discovering how good it is. This feels like when Chris was all about Inscription last year and telling everyone to play Inscription, this feels like that to me, where I'm like, it's phenomenal. I think it could be, if there weren't so many other great games that had come out this year, it would easily, like if Elden Ring didn't come out this year, like this would probably be my number one with a bullet so far.
You should play Tunic.
Yeah, see, that's that, and I feel like that. You know what I mean? Like you're telling me to play Tunic. I'm like,
well, I want to play this. It's just I've heard that it's actually not great on Switch because the controls like are really kind of built for PC, and like you can't turn around quickly and like snap around like you can with like a mouse for looking. I mean,
and, like, for what it's worth, I've been using. I haven't been using a mouse and keyboard. I've only been.
But have you been using the mouse like touchpad on the Steam Deck?
No, I use the thumbsticks. But granted that the thumbsticks on a Steam Deck are more like an Xbox controller than they are the Joy-Cons.
Yeah, they're better than. Well, I would never use the Joy-Cons. I'd play with the Pro controller. Come on now.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. There you go. So no, I haven't felt that. I've.
Oh, that's good to know then.
Yeah, I haven't.
If you're
felt
still
that.
enjoying it.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
All right. Well, then maybe I'll get it on Switch. I've heard the performance is good. It actually runs at 60 on Switch. They just runs at like a much lower resolution. I would love to see a side-by-side like Steam Deck Switch to see what
it looks amazing.
How it looks, the difference. I bet it looks awesome on the Steam Deck.
Good. And also the other thing is like the Steam Deck has, if you don't know, like Valve makes amazing audio hardware. Like
I didn't know that.
Yeah, the headphones on the Index are apparently amazing. The speakers in the Steam Deck are unbelievable quality for what this thing is. And because like there are the sound effects of using the guns and the alternate fires, and the music is like all this drum and bass loop. Like I am curious if I would be into it as much as I am. It just feels like the perfect game for that, and like. I'm so happy that it came out and this came in the mail at the same time. And I'm loving it. And I would love for you guys to play. Well, I don't know if it's like cross. It's probably not cross progression or whatever because you can do leaderboards and stuff, right? Like beat times and shit. Yeah. Oh, and then there are. I learned this the other day. There's secret double ace. So if you get, if you do it super fast, like you unlock a double ace badge that. You don't know what the time is for it. Like, it doesn't show you on the thing.
It's like S rank sometimes, right? Like, you think you got the top rank, and then you did like... Actually, you got secret extra rank.
It's super anime, the story and everything, the characters, the way they talk. Like, I'm like, oh, man, like, I feel like I'm watching, like, a good anime. And, like, I kind of want them to adapt. I hope it becomes big enough that, like, they get to make a show or something, because it's such a cool world and idea.
That's cool.
Yeah, been playing a lot of that, and then the other thing I've been playing is Final Fantasy VII, the anniversary stream that happened last week or whatever. I was like, oh, everyone's super excited for this Crisis Core game, Rebirth, the sequel. I was like, I never finished 7 Remake. I never got around to finishing it, and like I'm literally on the last mission now, and I'm like, this game fucking rules. So I'm kind of like in a Final Fantasy.
Is it touched up for PS5 at all?
Yeah, so they released a PS5 version of it, and yeah, the game looks great. And then the Crisis Core game that's coming out, which is a prequel, is coming to everything. But the sequel, the next one, is going to be PS5 only, which I know we talked about last week. So that's weird.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Did we? So I'm confused actually, time wise. Did we talk about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles last week, or was that? Did we play it over the weekend and we talked about it?
We didn't.
We haven't talked about it yet.
We didn't talk about all four of us having played it.
Okay, I didn't think so.
No.
Yeah, so we should talk about that and talk about Fall Guys. I also played a bunch of other junk, but we should talk about TMNT and Fall Guys a little bit, just because it was the first time we played both in a while. Alex got some good crowns. Did a great job.
Unbelievable. I mean,
let's do TMNT first, because we beat it. I mean, we played on the easiest difficulty. I didn't realize that's what we were on. I didn't realize that either. It makes sense though now in retrospect.
It makes a lot of sense now with how quickly those levels were going and how
breezed through it.
Yeah.
Probably not as easy to just like spam our supers on normal either, I bet.
Probably not that easy. Yeah.
Which means it's great though, because now we have a good reason to replay it, get 2 more people, do the full 6-person crew for normal. And Tom is muted, so he can't be heard.
Oh, sorry. I was saying I can't imagine how insane, because I was losing track of my total constantly.
Yeah.
I cannot imagine what having all 6.
You got to throw. If we have 6, someone's got to be like Casey Jones, and someone's got.
Well, you have you have to be, right. Like you can only be.
Well, yeah, there's 7 people, so yeah, so we could make it so that there's only 1 turtle realistically, or 2 instead of 3, because you've got 3 non-turtle characters. Well, 2 humans. Splinter's not a human.
Okay, 3 non-humans. So it would have to be 3 other. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun
so that'll
game.
Be fine.
Fun game
to have 3 turtles, 3 non. It'll be all right. Very cool game. I had a lot of fun with it. Who were you playing as?
I was Michelangelo.
I was Raph.
Okay. Is that your favorite turtle, or would you have picked someone else?
I would have picked Michelangelo.
Ooh.
That's my favorite turtle.
Tom, why did you pick Michelangelo?
I think because he had the highest speed.
Yeah.
I just like the fact that I could move, because I think that it does kind of hedge more towards a traditional like beat 'em up, which is slower, right? Like it's inherently slower. And so I just liked how fast he moved. Yeah.
I mean, my favorite turtle is not actually Leonardo. He's my second. My favorite's Donatello. So normally I would pick Donatello, but because of that same reason, I looked at the stats and I'm like, oh, he's real slow. I'm not taking a 1 speed character for sure. So that's not, it's kind of a bummer, when your favorite character isn't the right stats. But I did play as April a little bit, and she's also max speid, and it was awesome. Max speed's great for that.
April might be my favorite one to play as, I think.
Yeah. I played a little bit of Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl, where I also played as April, and April is awesome in that
April's
game.
A good character. Yeah, we were just playing
before this. A great moveset. I think she's my favorite character in that game, followed maybe by Korra, and then maybe SpongeBob. She has like some really cheap feeling moves, if I'm going to be honest, because just like some of her ranges and some of the attacks do like considerable damage. I have one problem with this game though. It feels a little floaty. Like it's not snappy like Smash Brothers, which, I understand it's a much smaller team, but I do feel like sometimes there's almost like a magnetism in other games with platforming where like it feels like you're a little sticky, like the ground wants you to be on the ground when you land, and there's like a good like satisfying like audio cue when you're like jumping and landing and hitting things. And although they did add in voice acting, which has made it much better, I still feel like it's missing some of those details that like I don't have as much audio feedback like while I'm playing as the character to know like I landed, and then like while you're normally playing. So it feels like a little empty weirdly while you're playing it. Mm-hmm. But I'm prepared to throw down with you and Brooke whenever you're ready.
And my format, we played right before this. We were trying to play Fall Guys, but trying to connect I was playing on the PS5 wasn't working, so I was like, oh, just grab my Switch. I'll download it on there. Turns out I had like a burner Epic account like logged in on my Switch, so now like I'm not even on my Epic account on the Switch. And
Great.
And I'm like, oh my god. And I was like, how do I even unlock this? Like, how do I even like remove this? So we ended up playing Nick All Stars, which was our first bit in a while. But my boss also plays, because he posted, or my former boss, he posted on his Instagram story that he plays. So we'll have to get a big group together. No, we like Nick All Stars, bro. Come to the dark side, Tuna. Come play Nick All Stars Brawl with us.
Did you redeem it? It's free.
On what?
On PlayStation this month. As long as you redeem it this month, you'll have it. So you should do that.
All right.
Yeah.
It's only on PlayStation?
PS5, it's free.
For free.
It's not free anywhere else. It's like their monthly game, like Gold.
Mm-hmm.
So you should redeem that. And for anyone listening, you should redeem it. I mean, look, Multiverses comes out next month. So part of me was like, I don't know if I should even bother downloading this, because I'm probably going to play Multiverses over this game. But it's fun enough, and they've done so many updates to it since it first came out that I was
not
like,
paying for it is the greatest price.
Yeah, playing as Cat Dog for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Sure, that's fun. That was worth it. That's cool. So yeah, I played. I wrote some of them down just so I don't forget. Okay, so I tried out. I wanted to have like some more games to talk about this week. Just haven't had as much time to play recently, and I did. I didn't get to the broadcast game that I did want to play. I'll try and do it for next week, but I did also check out like a bunch of things that were either on Game Pass or, Steam had their summer games. I can't remember. It was called Steam Next Fest, Tom?
Yes. That demos.
So I checked out some stuff there as well. Most of it I didn't care about, but I will talk about a few of these things. So I can't believe I played this game. Do you remember when we saw the Sniper Elite games? When we saw the Sniper game at E3 and we were in that like, it was like a really long presentation and we didn't even get to play. It was like we just watched a video of a guy go through it.
Oh, yeah.
But we all kind of came out of it surprisingly like, that didn't look half bad.
Didn't look bad.
Like, it's a game that I never thought I'd really be interested in. And that presentation was interesting enough to like wet my beak. And then I saw someone on Twitter talking about how like it's actually really fun and they couldn't believe that they were having fun with it. So it's on Game Pass. So I said, fuck it.
Yeah.
I'll try it out. I didn't even download it. I just did the cloud play, which is now what I'm going to do with all these. Like, I'll fuck it and, try it out and see what's going on. Like, why not? If you don't even need to download it, just hit the game cloud. It's not bad. I played through the first level. A little bit of sniping. Here's my only thing with it. Still a little too much stealthiness. Like, I kind of just want to do the sniping. I don't care as much about like the sneaking around and then, getting into a new position without getting caught to snipe more. Like, I wouldn't mind if this was a game that just like flashed me from scenario to scenario. Like, here's where I am, I got to protect this person or take that guy out without hitting any like civilians kind of a thing.
I'm going to blow your mind, Chris, right now. Because, you mentioned we went to E3, we saw a demo or whatever. Not the same sniping video game.
Really?
Not the same series.
Now,
so
crazy.
We saw Sniper Ghost Warrior.
But it's the same franchise.
Nope.
Right?
Nope.
They're not even related.
Nope. Separate
not made by the same teams.
Nope. Separate sniping franchise.
Because it did the same thing that game did, where it did like the bullet time and it showed where like the sniper goes through stuff and then like through the body and you see like the holy shit.
Different. Because when you brought that up, I was like, is he about to talk about Sniper Elite? All the Sniper Elite games, I think all of them are like World War II games. And the game we saw was a modern thing.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, separate team, separate franchise, got nothing to do. But same game, same fucking game. Yeah.
I want to know which is first. I want to know who the ripoff is.
I think Sniper Elite is the original. Let's do. I'll do some research while you talk.
It's one thing for them both to be sniping games. Yeah, sure. You're gonna have things in common, right? You could even do the bullet time, follow the bullet. That's fine. But the fact that this did like the same thing that I remember from that demo, where like it showed like the skeleton and the internals of the guy and like where the bullet went through him, I was like, I just assumed, of course, this had to be the same company and the same series. I didn't think it was the same game just because that was so long ago now. That blows my mind. You're right.
Sniper.
What's the name of it?
So Sniper Elite 5 is the one you're playing. The first Sniper Elite game came out in 2005. And then the first release in the Sniper Ghost Warrior series came out in 2008 and was called Sniper Art of Victory.
That's so fucking wild.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I stand corrected. Thank you, Tom.
That's crazy. That is crazy. There we go.
So funny.
Fall Guys.
It's fun. The shooting's good. Stealth stuff, not so much. What do you guys think? What do you think of some of the new levels? What do we think about playing crossplay? How easy it is?
Yeah, no, it was good. I enjoyed it. I had a good time with it. It's still as frustrating as I remember it being. I hate that you can grab people. I think it's really annoying. But for everyone who wasn't there, we sign on. Tom's fucking around. Tom's not available yet, but we're fucking around, and we join a game. Me, Chris, and Dan, and we get through. Well, before the game even starts, Dan says, "Oh, if it's squads, we're gonna have to pull Tuna through because he hasn't played in a year."
Oh, I knew.
AKA,
that.
Yeah, we'll drag you through the levels.
We'll drag you through the levels with us. Okay, fine. All right. Then
big shot.
Right. So it's the seesaw one is the first one. I barely qualified. Okay. I barely qualified. Tom says, "Oh, I'm ready." And Chris and Dan quit. I don't. I stay in the game. And Chris says, I tell them this. Chris says, "Oh, good luck, buddy." So I was like, all right, patronizing.
Well, no, that's not what happened. Oh, hold on. That is not what happened.
That is what happened.
Will you allow me to speak? And this will jog your memory.
Go ahead. Okay.
We left and you were like, well, I'm still in here. I was like, oh, Did you get through the level? And you were like, yeah, I did. I was like, oh, nice. Good job. And then I was like, I'm really proud of you. That was when I flipped it.
Oh, okay. I'm really proud. Thing. Right. I'm really
because I did genuinely. I was like, oh, nice.
Good luck. Didn't you say good luck?
No, I did not. That was Dan.
All right, fine. So then Dan goes, all right, whatever, man. You're not gonna win.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right,
double down.
I'm like, okay, well, then everyone's just casually talking, and I'm just like putting in there, like, I just qualified again.
You're like Michael Jordan, where you were like, like you took this thing that someone said, and you're like, well, this is gonna be my motivation to win.
Yeah,
now.
I was like, well, I have to. I mean, as soon as Dan said, well, you're not gonna win, I was like,
that offended me.
I have to fucking win now. So it was Fall Mountain.
It was so good.
Fall Mountain. And then I was running up that hill, and I was in first place. I got fucked over by one of the hammers, and I was like, oh my God, I cannot believe it.
Oh, I remember. I remember you were very mad.
I was like, classic Tuna, cracking under pressure, can't do it. And then the guy I was running next to also got fucked. So I ran up, grabbed the crown, and I said over the thing, I just won, so suck it.
Yeah,
it was a very satisfying moment.
So chuffed with himself.
You literally said that you're like, that was one of the most satisfying things of my life. Yeah. Like, I don't remember, that wasn't verbatim, but
no, I'm pretty sure it was. I think it was verbatim. It was verbatim.
I felt so good.
Yeah,
I just did. I felt amazing.
Well, that's great. Yeah. I think it's awesome. You guys both screwed up. So actually, this is a PSA. If you're listening now, log in to the new Fall Guys with the game you've been playing on. So if you've been playing on PC and now you're going to play on Xbox, or you're playing on PlayStation, now you're going to play on Switch, go load it up on the one you've been playing on first. Because when it syncs to your Epic account, it's going to pull over all the stuff from the first account you open it with. Now, like with the new update, these guys weren't aware of that. I didn't think to tell you guys. My bad.
What if you uninstall it and just reinstall?
No, because it syncs to that. Like, because now everything goes through the Epic account. So whatever you play on, all your stuff will be there. So it just pulls it from the first one. So if you don't do it right, then you have to send them like a message. You have to send Mediatonic support a message and tell them which account you want to be the main one, and they'll fix it. So you can have it fixed. Tom, they can merge two. So if you had two accounts that had different things on them, they can merge up to two. but not anymore.
Oh, they can merge them?
They can merge too, yeah.
I don't even know
Daddy's getting all his skins back.
You just tell when you send them a message, you give them your epic name.
I don't know the one I used for
I can help you find it. It's pretty simple because in Fortnite, if you load Fortnite or Fall Guys, you can press a button. It'll tell you what your epic name is. So I'll show you how to find that. And then you just tell them which one and they can see it on the back end. They just change which one is loading your content.
Really kind of shit that these tools on really kind of shit that these tools on just consumer facing and you can just like make it happen. Like, oh, you can do that for me in the background. We'll make it happen in the foreground.
Tom, you want to know why?
Tuna over here fucking playing last night. We're like, Tuna, why are you lagging behind? And he's trying to send an email to Epic while the fucking shit is happening.
That's true.
We're in the middle of a fucking game and he's like, oh, I'm behind. No one here behind is an email app. Fuck you.
He kept asking me questions and I'm like, yeah, I'll send you the link when we're done playing. And he keeps being like, so where exactly? I was like, I'll send you the link. Like, I've got it right here. I'm racing right now. I don't know what you're doing.
Such a son of a bitch.
It was pretty funny though.
It was great. And he was getting so frustrated. He was like so frustrated with himself. He just couldn't help himself.
It was pretty sick though when we won the squad game and the last two people left when we were playing were actually two of us. Yeah, it was great. That was pretty awesome. I think the best new addition has got to be the speed gates. It's like Mario Kart, like you're hitting like a boost pad. The fact that you get that like extra speed now in Fall Guys, it's instead of them adding like a run button, which is really like, I think that's what they have to do. It's like they can't add in more buttons and just overcomplicate the game. You just make up objects. So you want levels where there's like that extra speed. Now we have the speed boost kind of a thing. That was pretty cool. And I only did volleyball once. You guys, I don't think you guys got to see it. I don't think you've played since.
I haven't played.
But it was such a cool round because there were like 12 of us left and then it loaded volleyball and I'm in a one-on-one and I was really confused. I was, what's going on? And then when it ended and I lost, by the way, I got eliminated along with the other 5 people that also lost their matches. So there were 6 one-on-one matches going at the same time. And then the 6 people that lost all got kicked out, which is like a very different thing for them to do. Right. I would love to see that same thing on just like a straight up like race. Like a head-to-head race with just you and one other guy would be like super tense. I think that's pretty dope.
I think that you brought it up, Chris. It was so funny you brought it up. Like how upset must Mediatonic be that it had to convert their model to this, right?
I feel bad for them about it, to be honest.
I'm like looking at it, I'm like, oh, this hidden. I hate it when there's hidden passes and there's weekly events and all daily challenges and all of this.
They launched it like a regular game. Like you didn't have to pay for any like the extra content. Like that was the way the game worked. It was great.
And it was based on, you win, you get stuff, right? Yep. And I know that happens here still, but like it's way more diluted. It's a shame. But I will say, like, I do think that even though they've had to move to this model, which makes sense, like I understand financially, like you got to do this. Tim Sweeney over there cracking the whip. I think that the changes that they've made like still befit the game, and I also think that they wouldn't
All
have
I can
been.
think about right now is my Epic account and merging them together. Can't think about it.
He's itching to send an email, folks. There's nothing Tuna loves more than to send a spicy email.
What I really appreciate when Alex gets into this headspace is I will also, I don't know if you do this too, Tom, but every now and then, if there's something that I'm like, oh, I need to do
I have
this,
to do.
That's it. That's it.
So,
that's all I'm going to think about.
So let me tell you. So Mike Amos, right? Our old friend. He was the one
that dancing queen on.
Our dancing queen.
Yeah, didn't Extra Life? Didn't he do the dancing?
Yes, and raised $1,000.
He raised a ton of money.
He raised $1,000. That
awesome.
was insane.
Sick.
That was great. Yeah, our dancing queen. Yeah, unranked dancing queen, Mike Amos. He's the one that was like, here are all the things you need to like do emulation, like, and how to get like Wind Waker on the Steam Deck or whatever.
Sure. Dolphin, is that what you're running?
So no, because Dolphin runs Wii and GameCube. The CMU is the name of the Wii U thing.
Oh, okay.
He was like, it should be really easy. You just download the file, you install it, like blah 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 blah. I was trying to get the HD version of Wind Waker, right, on my Steam Deck, and from everything he was describing, I was like, it should be super easy. Mm-hmm. It was the big, like, I spent a half a day doing this, and I was like, I'm not even just trying to play. I just want it on here to like look at it and be like, oh, isn't this dope, Wind Waker, and send you guys a fucking image that would make you jealous. That was all I wanted to do. I wasn't about to get stuck in through a playthrough of Wind Waker.
Why didn't you just download the front like image of Wind Waker, like a screenshot, and then just send it to us?
I wanted it on there. You know, I didn't want
so that you could be like, I legitimately can play this.
I legitimately
I
can play Wind Waker. So
but you weren't ever gonna play it.
I mean, I will. Because that's the thing. Like, it'll get done. Like, I want to play Wind Waker.
You've
HD
never played it?
I got like halfway through playing it on. I guess it would have been the HD re-release on Wii U.
Okay.
Yeah, or something.
Yeah, because the re-release is a really improved version because the whole like finding the Triforce pieces was a bit of a slog in the original, and they do make that a much better experience.
Okay, well so that's good to know, because it took me forever to get this thing running. I had to find the file. He basically gave me a library of every game ever ROMs, right? Like everything. And he was like, yeah, just download it from here, but do this, that, and the other. And I was like, how? I think I just agreed to committing a crime there. But
no, not if you own it. You own it on the Wii.
I own the Wii. Boom. There you go. Then not a crime anymore. I wipe my hands. So I message him, and I'm like, dude, I finally got it to work. I finally got the thing up and running. And he messaged me. He's like, oh, HD. He's like, nah, man. He's like, you got to download the GameCube version with the and then there's an HD thing, and then there's another mod that gives you like it gives you the Wii U HD experience, but it's running the GameCube version. He's like, the GameCube ones you can download easy. The Wii U files, those are the real pains in the ass to try and get loaded. I was like, well, I really wish I'd had that clarified, because I've been here for the last 24 hours trying to get this running.
I feel like you spend a lot of time dealing with technical issues.
Oh, Tuna.
In your life.
Tuna.
Wow. PC games also.
Dude, me trying to get Final Fantasy 14, because in my stream last night, everyone in my stream convinced me that I need to play with them on Final Fantasy 14. Trying to get that on the Steam Deck, just, oh my god. Oh my god. I got to message you guys something offline about that one, because there's something about that I can't say out loud. But, anyway. Yeah, no, life plagued by technical issues.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah.
I played a couple other things besides Fall Guys.
All right. Let's hear it.
All right. So there's a couple other things on Game Pass that I wanted to check out. Disc Room is on Game Pass.
Oh,
I tried that out. That's hard. It's a really hard game.
I didn't get far into it. Yeah.
I don't know what kind of legs I have with that game. I feel like I'm going to load it up one more time. But that feels like, it almost feels like a Flash game.
Sure.
You know, like it basically in Disc Room, you're just top down, Alex, like a guy in a room filled with rotating saw blades, and you just need to avoid them and not die. And there's a timer that goes. And you guys have probably played this before, right? At PAX.
No, I have it.
Oh, you have it? On what? On Switch or?
On Switch.
Oh, there you go. I haven't played it before. It was on Xbox.
I got very far, but there was a glitch, and I couldn't beat a particular room. Tom.
Really?
Why are you saying Tom?
He has no idea what I'm talking about.
You're talking about
the game that he's talking about. You gave me a code for this game.
Oh, yes, an early code. Yes.
Yes, and I played, and I couldn't get past the I got past a lot of I think almost every level except this one level where it was a glitch, and I talked to you about it, and you said that they told you that, oh yeah, it crashed my Switch every single time.
Yeah, and they were like, I think at the time they didn't have a fix for it out. Like there was nothing that they could do, and then we just never got back to.
I liked it. I thought it was good.
That's dope. I wish I had it on Switch so that I could see your times, because I'm doing it on Xbox. So like I'm assuming that you'd be able to see like what your friends' scores are. Maybe not, but that seems like something that game should have. I don't know. Maybe if it's cheap on Switch, I'll play it if I can do that, just to see if I can get as far as you did. Because that would, when I was playing it, I was like, I'm not sure what would compel me to keep going with this. I feel like I played it for like 30 minutes and I kind of understood what it was. And then I was kind of out on it after that. But it's a very small, very simple game, right? Like, unless it opens up more that I don't know about, like later in the game.
Well,
how many abilities do you get? Because like you get the dash.
Yeah.
And then I'm assuming you unlock more. I didn't get anything else.
Oh, there's tons more.
Yeah, okay, so I didn't get very far then. Okay, so maybe I'll go back to it. Maybe I'll go back to it.
It gets really, really, really challenging.
Does it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, then maybe I will check this out more. Because I had fun with it, but I thought like, oh, this is the game? All right. It's cool. And I remembered hearing the two of you talk about it, because I think you had played it at PAX and then he got you a code for it. So, okay. Very cool.
Yeah, Tom doesn't really get me codes anymore. Friendship is declined.
It's not the codes, it's the Steam Deck that Tuna wants, and there's nothing I can do about that one.
Yeah. Especially when I just realized I spent $400 on mulch for my landscaper. It was in the contract. I forgot to take it out, and he already laid it down. So it's $400.
Are you with anything?
Are you out there mowing the lawn, or you got someone mowing the lawn?
I have a blowing. What do they call blowing trim? Yeah, I got a landscaper.
Oh, okay. You have someone that comes.
I'm not blowing. I'm not.
That's what I thought. I mean, you got a baby. You got stuff to do. You got work.
Well, yeah. So he comes every Friday, and then last week his guys came and threw mulch down. And I was like, fuck, I thought I took that out of the contract when he sent me the new contract. But he didn't. My point is, Tom, is that I was complaining that the Steam Deck, not just for availability, but also for price. And I threw $400 away on this mulch that I didn't really want. And I'm annoyed.
Hell yeah.
I love the fact the mulch has something to do with all this. That's so funny to me. Hi. That's so fucking funny.
I also tried Naraka Bladepoint.
Oh,
and I played this. Okay, so I played this very quickly, and I'll tell you why. This is a game that feels like it's made to be played on PC.
Okay.
The interface feels like a PC game that's on a console.
That sounds
and
about right.
More importantly, the right stick, which controls your look action, like the camera, it is the loosest fucking camera I had to so gently move my thumbstick that it almost made it unplayable. Like the first weapon you get in the game is a bow and arrow, because the campaign, it'll take you through. It's a multiplayer, it's a battle royale kind of game, but it's a fighting game, Alex. Except there is sort of a campaign to it, at least that it takes you through in the tutorial. And while playing that, I quit because I could not control the character's camera well enough to shoot enemies that it wasn't satisfying. I was basically fighting against the controls. And then I spent a little while trying to figure out how to adjust that. But because it's not a good interface and it's a very PC interface, I could not even figure out how to get to that part of the control system. So I opened it, I loaded it, played it, not going to touch it again.
Played it.
That's it. Bin it.
Bin it. Bend.
And the last game I played, this was from Steam Next Fest, and this was called String Theory. And this one is the coolest game I played, Tom. So you'll want to pay attention to this one because this one's fucking sick. And it's well, it's very good. Did Tom ever play The Escapist with us? Because I know we played The Escapist.
Yeah, I played
Alex.
it. Yeah, played with you guys.
Okay, so I don't know. I don't think the same team is behind it, but it looks like The Escapist. It's the same top-down kind of pixel artwork. But I would say it's like The Escapist kind of meets Deathloop or 12 Minutes, but done much better than 12 Minutes. So it's a time travel noir game. And they call it string theory because it uses, like, the artwork uses the red strings to connect things, but you're also actually hopping through different universes. And you basically are playing in a city. Someone comes to your door at the beginning of the game and they have a knife in their back and a note. And every time you hit a reset button in this game, you launch into a new timeline. So your goal is eventually to like land in a timeline where you can stop this murder from happening. But every time you switch to a new multiverse, one thing is changed and you don't know what it's going to be as it goes. So you need to like, it's very cool because there's a menu system where as you uncover clues, like strings, you'll be connecting them to each other. But then when something changed, you'll go to your board and now all these strings have disconnected. So now you're like, fuck, I know these same parts of the puzzle are still working together, but now I don't have a complete picture. I thought I was going to finish it on this run. It's really cool. It's way better than 12 minutes, like loop take on it. And I think it's better than what Deathloop did as far as like doing a sort of like noir story, you know, with like looping moments. But the difference there is Deathloop, you're not like trying to solve a crime or anything. Right, you're just, it's a static puzzle in Deathloop, whereas this is a changing one. Like Deathloop's supposed to be like, you change the puzzle. This is like, every time you try to solve the puzzle, the world's going to change is sort of the way that, and I actually think this is a little bit more engaging and cool. I'm very excited for this to come out. It's going to come out in the fall. It's called String Theory. So that was like the coolest thing. So I wanted to add that on there.
That does sound cool.
I think we covered all the games and stuff. We can move to news. I wasn't sure if you wanted to talk about working, how GameSpot has been at all or anything.
Nothing.
No? Are you having a good time?
Yeah, it's just been a lot of getting everything kind of put together. My boss is out, that is on PTO this week, so I haven't done any creative stuff. It's all been like learning workflows and stuff. But the team is awesome. It's awesome to come to a brand that is so big that it there's so many people working on it. Like I just like look at the social team, for example, because I'm doing TikTok videos and stuff. I look at the social team, I'm like, oh my god, they have like multiple dedicated social video producers. They have multiple dedicated graphics people on social. Yeah. Whereas like I was social
just this time, right?
I'm doing
video producer now.
Yeah,
so I'm some of it.
I'm doing I'm doing news programming on the YouTube side, and then I'm doing TikTok on the social side, and that's kind of the split. Obviously, I have opportunities.
Ooh, gotta go download the GameSpot TikTok.
Yeah, go follow the GameSpot TikTok. Going to be starting up very soon.
Follow
all that. But I've obviously had conversations with people about being on other things and crossing over on some things. So we'll see how it goes.
So follow Tom's GameSpot TikTok and engage with it so that we can gas him up at GameSpot.
Gas me up, baby. So but I haven't done anything like fun. I haven't made anything yet. That is all starting kind of next week.
Cool.
But let's jump into the news. There's a couple of fun things.
Yes. I'm going to start with a news piece. I wanted to give Tom time. I wasn't sure if he was going to talk about GameSpot, and I didn't want to be. You know what's really tacky, I think? And I apologize to any of our listeners if you've done this, but I think it's really tacky when someone's at a wedding and they, like, as a guest, and they get engaged. Yeah. That's like a thing. I think super
that's a
tacky.
Thing, really? People do that?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah. Why are you bringing this up?
It happens far too often. Well, because Tom, this is a big week for you at GameSpot. So I didn't want to rain on your parade. I didn't want to take
you're getting engaged.
But I have some news of my own that's starting next week. I will be a producer at G4.
No way. That's awesome, dude.
That's why. I'm very excited about it. But Congrats, I didn't want, like, I wasn't sure when to say it, especially because I thought maybe you'd want to talk about GameSpot.
This is not the same as getting engaged at a wedding.
Of course. But I wanted to give you that opportunity.
And also, just so everyone knows now, because it seemed like you were just telling Tom, I already knew.
Yeah, Alex knew, but that's the only reason Alex knew is because I had also told him when I was interviewing.
Like a Tom.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Like sitting here like a fucking schlub. Like,
but that's, so yeah, I start next week. I could have said it. I didn't want to say it until I signed paperwork, until like I was in the system. And now that I'm in the system, next week I will be creative producer at G4 I'm actually going to be working with Matt. We're going to be on the same team. And tonight, so sort of like
it's just
the next
all
time we
of
do
it.
an
It's
unranked,
so funny. It's just all of that crew now. That's so dope. Oh, which shows are you working on?
I'm going to be working across like a half a dozen different shows. So I'm on the creative producing team. So we're going to be doing two different things, which is either if I'm working on a show that's currently on, I'm going to be like, working on that show, but I'm also going to be doing development for new shows. So I know I'm going to be working on Austin's show, the Name Your Price, but some of the other stuff I haven't been clued in on yet, which I'm going to find out when I start next week, like more about that, which I won't be on next week's episode because there's a night shoot. Like we're filming something next weekend, so I won't be here for that.
Okay.
So yeah, but I'm very excited about it.
That's awesome, dude. That's huge. Cool. That's awesome.
Thank you.
And I'm so glad that it's just like all of the folks like you guys.
Unranked West now. Now all of Unranked West works at G4.
Amazing.
Which is pretty exciting. I'll be working with Emily as well, so that's gonna be really fucking cool. Very pumped about that. So here we are. That's my big news. Tom,
that's awesome.
Want to tell us about some games news?
Some games news. Excuse me. So the man himself, Tony Hawk, he revealed that Vicarious Visions, before they got kind of brought in to work on Call of Duty stuff at Activision, were going to develop a 3 and 4 Tony Hawk's Pro Skater remake after 1 and 2, which came out 2 years ago now. I think 2020 is when that one came out.
Maybe.
Yeah, so there were plans to do it. Apparently, Vicarious Visions was taken off that project when they were put on working on Call of Duty things, and then Activision kind of shopped 3 and 4 around to other studios, weren't happy with pitches regarding what other studios wanted to do with it, and have reportedly scrapped a 3 and 4 remake, which has a lot of people in an uproar, decidedly. So
I never played 4, but I thought 3 was really good. From what I remember, I thought 3 to 4 was like the transition out, though. Like Tony Hawk 4 was where like it became.
I think 3 is the one that people like love. Like
2 and 3, I think
two,
is
2
like,
and 3.
2 is
That's the thing. It's like 2 and 3, and like and the other thing is like there's a lot of things in Tony Hawk's. There are things that they added in 3 and 4, like certain moves that weren't doable in the original 1 and 2 that are in the remaster. So maybe the best bits of what made the 3 and 4 special are already in remaster, or 1 and 2 remaster. But yeah, I mean, I think it's just more of like that sucks that like, that isn't going to happen versus more fucking Call of Duty content.
I still haven't watched that HBO documentary. You said it was awesome.
So good. It's really good. It's really fucking good.
It's long though, right?
No, I watched it in. Oh, it's a movie. It's a doc movie.
Oh, I thought it was like a docuseries.
It's like 2-hour documentary.
Oh.
Yeah. Nope, not a series.
I misheard you when you said it. For whatever reason, when you told me about it, I thought you were saying it was like a docuseries. And then every time I come back past the thumbnail on HBO Max, I'm like, I don't know if I want to start this right now.
No, I watched it in one. I put it. I put
dope. I'll definitely watch it.
Yeah,
then.
I put it on like a whim. Like, I'll just throw this on like background kind of thing at the time, and then I was like engrossed, and then I was like crying by the end of it as well. Like,
oh my god.
Yeah, I mean it's touching towards the end. With it makes you feel. I think I said this at the time. It makes you like feel every emotion. Like you're like ecstatic, you're happy, and then like at a point you're like devastated and like.
It's kind of like the Nug Power Hour.
Yeah, it is. It's the same. What Tony Hawk's career and what he's been through in his life is exactly the same as the time we ate 60 chicken nuggets in an hour. It's the same thing. Tuna, agreed?
Yeah, I shouldn't have eaten a lunch before that.
So that was.
You definitely would have completed it if you hadn't, considering you were 8 away when you quit.
Stupid.
Yeah. Or maybe just such a big lunch.
Hopefully, hopefully the news of hopefully this news means that if and when the Activision Xbox deal actually goes through, Phil Spencer will be like, all right, let's fucking make it happen. So we'll see. But speaking of Xbox, the only other kind of interesting news I think for the week, other than Overwatch 2 replacing Overwatch. So when Overwatch 2 goes live in October, that's it for Overwatch. Can't play regular Overwatch.
That is a real big risk for them.
We'll see.
What? Wait, whoa! You can't play Overwatch 1 anymore when Overwatch 2 comes out?
So
this is the future of video games.
That's insane.
So what it is that when it comes to, as it's been described to me by people in our community, Overwatch 2, when the game releases, the new content is the single player, right? There's going to be a campaign. The multiplayer for Overwatch 2 is they're just migrating Overwatch 1 to this
Which was when they announced it, and everyone was like, what the fuck is this? Because they were like, well, Overwatch 2 is a single player game. There will be multiplayer stuff, but that's just going to be Overwatch 1, and it's still fucking weird.
Yeah,
so it's just so you're going to be, so if you don't want to play the campaign, is Overwatch 2 free?
Yes, the multiplayer I think is free. Yes.
Oh, then never mind.
Yeah. I don't know about cosmetics. I don't know if
I
all
thought
of that
you were
transfers.
saying that like Halo 2, right?
Yeah.
They come out with Halo 3 on November whatever. Boom, Halo 2 done. Buy the new game, bitch.
No, it's like if Halo 2 was a multiplayer only experience, and then Halo 3 came out and it had a single player. And then the multiplayer was, but I mean, there will for example, there is no more 6-team. Overwatch was 6 people. It was 2 damage, 2 healers, 2 tanks. Overwatch 2 doesn't have that. Overwatch 2 is 5 people. You only have 1 tank this time on your team, which a lot of people say is a much better way to play. It's a better, it's more fun that way, and it's better that way. But yeah, you won't be able to play the Overwatch 1 multiplayer anymore after
this. This reminds me of another news story we have. Alex, you want to talk about Halo Master Chief Collection? 343 is looking into adding microtransactions to the Master Chief Collection.
Why?
Maybe you want some new cosmetics. Maybe you want your cat ears and Halo 2
them, though.
and Halo 3.
You can earn them.
But what if
don't be like Ted Cruz?
What if you can buy?
Don't
oh my
be
god,
like Ted
that was
Cruz.
so funny. Holy shit, it was so funny watching. Of course, the one person in the world who's like, oh, these microtransactions are great. Like you could just play the game, but I could just go in there with a bunch of money and I'm good right away. I can just buy up all this stuff. It's like, fucking hell. Oh, you piece of shit. Oh my God. That was so good. That was good, Alex. That was very good. 343 doing what Alex wants, not focusing on Halo Infinite levels, adding microtransactions to the Master Chief Collection, a game that Alex went from hating to loving.
Love it. Yeah. I love playing Halo 2.
Well, they heard that and they were like, well, what if we make what if we make Master Chief worse so people are driven to play Halo Infinite?
Yeah.
The good thing is, honestly, is Halo 2. I mean, Halo 3 is full of cosmetics, but Halo 2 is not, especially even in Master Chief Collection. So stay out of Halo 2. You fuck.
Stay out
of Halo 2.
I'm not like when we play
Stay
Halo
off
2,
my property.
It's the same. It's also like the same. I would say, I don't think there's more than 100 people playing that game because I see the same names all the time. So,
that's surprising, even on Master Chief.
Just for Halo 2, though.
Yeah.
And but we don't play all the game modes either.
Oh, okay.
So, select number of game modes. I mean, I could start naming Gamertags on that, but I don't want to add them. They're on.
Yeah, we don't need to start doxing people.
Right? Yeah, they're out all the time though.
That's amazing. My favorite game, one of my favorite games from 2017, 2018, I think 2018, Into the Breach, which Alex finally played this last winter and talked about how much he also enjoyed it, is getting the update I've wanted forever, which is a mobile game. Apparently the Netflix's games now division. I guess they paid for this because they're the one that's publishing it. I don't really give a shit if it means I can finally play this game on my iPad, which it felt like made perfectly for an iPad in the first place. I'm very excited. And there's a good reason to play it because they're adding a ton of new crap to it. They're adding like different difficulties, a bunch of new like music, a bunch of languages. And then, of course, they're adding like completely new sets of vehicles and like mechs and stuff that you can unlock. So they're basically adding a bunch of new content to the game. It's almost like a major expansion, and it's going to be on mobile. And then if you have it on Steam or Xbox or Switch already, it'll just auto update with that for free. It's not like you have to pay for this. So if you're playing it on Switch and you prefer to play there, boom, got a free update. I'm very excited about that. Anything else, Tom?
The only thing that I was going to add is that they're going to be adding very soon the ability for developers to add mouse and keyboard support for xCloud. So you'll be able to stream, because that was the annoying thing. Like if you played, if you booted up like Halo, for example, Halo Infinite on cloud on your computer, you weren't able to use a mouse and keyboard. It was despite the fact that Xbox Series X supports mouse and keyboard, you weren't able to do it. So that's really cool. Along with them adding the app to the Samsung TVs, like it's just very cool things happening for xCloud. But no, other than that, we can move on.
There was a new game that was announced at the PC Future Game Show, or the PC Gaming Show, which was called Deceive Inc. I sent you guys the trailer. I don't know if you watched it, but it looked really, really cool, and it's a spy-themed first-person multiplayer game. And like you'll have to either like, it seems like it's collaborative multiplayer, but it's possible it's versus. Although it seems like you're more outwitting the enemy than you are one another. But there's a lot of like gadgets and like disguises and things like that where you have to like sneak in, get data, hack a thing. It did remind me a little bit, Alex, of what was the game we played last year where we played as two spies?
Oh yeah,
Operation Tango.
Operation Tango.
Yeah, so it looked a lot like that, but if it was much more of an actual like multiplayer game, whereas that was kind of like asymmetrical. One of us was doing one thing while the other was like actually in. That was like man on the computer, guy in the chair versus person in the field. Right. This is like we're all agents in the field kind of a thing, more of like a Mission Impossible than like a James Bond Q kind of a relationship. It looks very cool. It's going to come out next year. So there you go. Wanted to bring that up because I thought it was like actually one of the best games that like was shown this month for like new upcoming games.
Okay, cool.
So, little mail
never fails.
Email at unrankedpodcast.com. You can send emails to email@unrankedpodcast.com, or you can go to our Discord. There's a link in the show notes that'll take you to our Discord. You can go to questions for the pod, drop us a question, ask us a little bit of whatever the hell you want. Or you can send us voicemail 805-738-8692. You just open your phone app. I don't care if you're drunk and it's 12:30 at night. Put the McDonald's down, open the phone, 805-738-8692. Give us a call. Look,
people love it works when you bully people into
it worked. I called because Christian said to, so I love those. They're great. Keep them up. All right. I'm just going to max the volume out first to make sure you guys can hear it. We got a voicemail.
Hey, it's Bears. I'm just calling to give my suggestion as to what I think the name for the new Legend of Zelda game will be. I'm going to go with Legend of Zelda Worlds Apart. I don't know. I think it's underground, above ground, and a sky area. Curious if that maybe about going to different types of worlds or something like that. But other than that, Dan Rank, suck it.
So I didn't I forgot to download this until we were recording, so I didn't have time to boost the audio. But if it was unclear, Killcare Bears thinks Legend of Zelda Worlds Apart because we've seen all the broken apart. That's really good. That's like a very good title. It follows the format of Breath of the Wild, which actually I think kind of breaks the normal format of Zelda titles, right? Like usually it's like the name of an object or a thing in the game, and with Breath of the Wild, it's very much more like an atmospheric name than anything. So I think that's very good. Now, we said we were going to come up with different titles for this.
One.
Okay, Tom, why don't you lead the pack?
So I'm thinking, right, we've got this whole theme of the sky element, right? Like platforms in the sky. You know, I've also been playing a lot of Neon White, you know, the heaven, right? Reaching the heavens. Okay, so heaven's there in the title. Okay. And then also, you know, the thing that's barring you from Hyrule could be a paradise, right? It could be a lovely place. You're just running around with the birds from Skyward Sword and your little goblins and all that. And but you know, he's having none of it. Ganon, right? He's preventing it. He's barring it. He's causing a gate. So Legend of Zelda: Heaven's Gate.
Fuck. Tom, I didn't see that coming. I really didn't see that coming. You brought us on a little journey, and then you made a joke about a cult where everyone killed themselves.
Yeah,
that was good.
My alternate title,
nice.
My alternate titles were Legend of Zelda: Nexium, and Legend of Zelda, Wako.
Okay.
Tuna was not impressed. Tuna was like, it didn't tickle his fancy at all. It did not do anything for Tuna.
Because Worlds Apart got me. That got me. That was it. That was the name.
It's very good.
Worlds Apart is now I was thinking they might throw us for a loop and just call it Breath of the Wild 2.
Then no, I think they already confirmed that that's not the title.
I know. Duality is something I saw online when I was just Googling this.
Just
Duel
Breath of the Wild Duality?
Breath of Duality or something is what I saw online.
Breath of Duality.
But my name that I would think is cool, for no reason other than I just think it's cool, is Legend of Zelda: Curse of the Blood Moon.
Okay, that's actually not bad.
Thanks a lot.
Curse of the Blood Moon.
That's actually not bad.
What's going on there, though? Why?
Well, you know how the Blood Moon resets everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the Blood Moon resurrects, maybe not Ganon, but something, right? Maybe we don't have Ganon anymore. The Blood Moon has resurrected enemies for so long, for so many cycles, that we've now hit the 1,000th cycle, and it has resurrected an ancient demon that is now alive, wreaking havoc in Hyrule.
That's good.
Thanks.
I'm into it.
Thanks.
I think that's very good.
What do you got, Chris?
Well, I went in a closer direction that our listener did. And I did also focus on like the fact that the world was broken up. And then I thought about it in the whole, like, all right, in the Zelda timeline, this is sort of like in a interesting place. And I thought, if this were, let's say, the new canon, like this is the new like mainline, like kind of like we had Ocarina and they had Majora, and then after that we have Wind Waker. What happens in Wind Waker? The world got flooded, right? So I thought, all right, opposite, because we're getting sky islands instead of getting islands. So I went with Shattered Lands, Legend of Zelda Shattered Lands. I wasn't really going to say Shattered Skies.
Pretty good.
Because I like alliteration, but it doesn't actually make sense. The sky's not shattered. The land is shattered.
Right.
So I went with Legend of Zelda Shattered
because
Lands.
Of Wind Waker, Majora's Mask. Yeah.
Right. And I do like something about this makes me feel like, oh, this, because there was critique to the last game having not enough traditional Zelda stuff. I feel like this game will do the traditional route of having like an item or something. So I think it's actually going to be impossible for any of us to guess what it is. Kind of like how the Wind Waker was the thing that allowed you to traverse that world. There's going to be something there's something we don't know that's going to be shown, and that's going to be the name of this thing. I don't think we'll be able to guess.
Skyward Sword.
Skyward Sword.
Again.
It's so hard to not use the word sky for this game because of like, I mean, look, it looks just like the world of Skyward Sword.
It does.
So.
Yeah.
Skyward Sword Strikes Back. Skyward Sword 2. Imagine if they just called it Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword 2.
Skyward Sword 2.
We said it was going to be named something. It is.
You're right.
Skyward Sword 2.
All right. We are pressed for time, so I want to move on to the game. You guys feel good about that?
100%.
Sure.
All right. So I told you guys we were going to play a little bit of Game or No Game. Game or No Game is a game where I tell you the name of a game, and you're going to tell me is it a real game or is it not a game? I'm going to give you like a description for a game. This game already got started earlier in the day when I told you about string theory, because that was not a game. I made that whole thing up. It doesn't exist. I came up with the concept entirely. Because we're not actually playing Game or No Game. We're playing You Should Have Fucking Listened. So let's get right into it, boys. Let's start out. Alex, how many people?
Well, hold on. You know what's really funny about your string theory game? So Tom was all into it.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I thought it was great.
Tom was loving it. I was thinking to myself, this is the most confusing. I tuned out. So if we were playing,
the concept was
were
so
you fucking
simple.
listening? No, it wasn't for me.
I think it's pretty simple, Tom.
No, if we were playing, were you fucking listening?
Yeah.
Nope.
I was not.
Well, good news, Alex. How many people are in Overwatch 2 teams? So Tom told us about how many people are in the teams for Overwatch 1. How many people
16.
are on a team? How many people are on a team for Overwatch 2?
I love the fact that Chris's questions for you are like, what's this very simple thing that Tom said? And then Chris will be like, okay, on the 17th minute of the podcast, Tuna said this word. What sentence was that word in?
16 is my answer.
So your guess is there are 16 people on a single team in Overwatch 2?
10.
So there's 10 people, I believe, in a game of Overwatch 2, but there are 5 people on a team.
Correct.
Why'd they change it from 6?
It was 6 people in the original. Now it's 5.
Why?
Because as Tom mentioned, they found that the balance of that was actually much better. I think because it is a very team-oriented game, because you have to like balance the characters out. It's probably harder also to get a 6th person. And I bet the strategies don't work out as interestingly. Like you end up with like a lot of imbalances. I'm sure there's a multitude of reasons.
There are some
I
listeners
don't know enough about it.
Yeah, there are some listeners to.
Yeah. But 6 people is a lot of people to like for like a dedicated team. I mean, that would think about when you're playing Halo, Alex. If you're on a 4-man team, but 2 of them are randos or 1 of them is randos, and the other team is all playing together, they often have an advantage. With 6 people, it's that much harder to actually have a full set, I'm sure.
Right.
So that's got to be a reason. All right, Tom. What did Alex say you were doing when we joined for Fall Guys?
Wait, we actually are playing this?
Yes.
Huh.
So you weren't paying attention even when he said.
Nope.
What was funny is when I started string theory, I was like, Tom, you're gonna pay attention now for this.
What was Tuna? What was the question? What was Tuna saying I was doing?
Yeah, when we were starting Fall Guys, what did Alex say you were doing? Because we were all playing. Like,
I don't even remember what I said.
So we were all playing.
Well,
you weren't with us yet. What did Alex say you were doing?
Dicking around.
Fucking around.
Fucking
Alex, fucking around.
God damn it. I can't believe it. All right, Tuna, here's your next question. What's the name of this podcast?
No. I have one for him, Tom.
All right.
Ready?
Yep.
I played Sniper Elite 5. What's the name of the game we saw at E3 that Tom corrected me was not the same franchise?
Something with World War II.
I like that you didn't even guess Sniper something just because we know that they both
No, because the only thing in my brain right now is Sniper Elite.
Oh, I thought the only thing that's in your brain right now is getting your Epic account.
Yeah.
I mean, that is true.
That is.
When he said that, I'm like, oh, Alex is fucked.
Yeah, you ask him to name the email address for the Epic support or the URL to the link. He's got it down to the last fucking digit.
So It's not Sniper Something World War II. Actually, Sniper Elite Series, as Tom mentioned, is the one that
right.
takes
That's
place
what you're
during World War II.
conflating. Is the one that he played the other day is the one that takes place during World War II. The game he's looking for is not. That was the whole point. That was the whole point.
And this game is Sniper Ghost Warriors. That's the name of the game that we saw apparently at E3 that Tom said.
Contracts,
Tom.
specifically. Sniper Ghost Warrior contracts, but yeah.
Tom, what did Alex call his landscaper? So before he corrected it to landscaper, I was like, wait, so what did you hire?
Oh, my God.
What do you have? And it was a package.
He was talking about his mulch.
Yeah.
He ordered $400.
And I was like, well, do you mow or do you have like a landscaper? He's like, oh, I've got a blank. And he said
he has a guy who does it, but that's not what you're looking for.
No, he called it like a very specific thing, like a phrase.
Lawnmower man? I don't know.
No, he said he's got a blow and trim. He's got a blow and trim.
He did say that.
Because all they do is they come over, they blow the leaves around.
He did say that, and I remember laughing at it as well. Yeah. That was funny.
That was good. All right, Alex, what RPG did Tom start playing recently? Because he never finished it.
JRPG.
Final Fantasy, some number.
Oh, okay.
You want to take a guess?
9. 7. The most popular. 12.
Pick one.
What are you going for?
9.
Oh, he fucked it up. He got fucking.
Oh. I was about to give it to him too, and then you had to say a third one. It was Final Fantasy VII
Remake.
I was right before you switched to a third one. I was
he was gonna give it. He was gonna give it to you, and then it went 12, 26.
All right, Tom.
Yeah.
How many people does Alex think are usually playing Halo 2?
Oh,
100.
Yeah, it is. It's 100. It's 100p.
100p.
All right, so Tom's got 1 point. Go ahead.
Play the clip. There's
Alex,
got to be 100 people playing Halo 2.
When Tom was talking about neon white, he mentioned 4 other colors of character angels in that game. Name 3 of them. You can have 4 color guesses.
I know there's neon green because he said that neon green always wins.
That is one of the ones he said.
Well done.
Neon pink?
No neon pink. So you can't get either of the other 2 wrong. But there are 3 colors that you can guess.
Neon blue.
No.
There is no neon blue.
Neon red, yellow, violet, and green was the last one that he said. I'm sorry. But that you were somewhat paying attention.
You got one of them.
Yes.
I was somewhat paying attention.
Yeah.
Which is more than we can ask for, I think.
Tom.
Yeah.
How many people did I say were in Fall Guys when I played volleyball? So when I played volleyball, I said there are this many people left.
8.
It was 12.
Fuck. No, sorry. I definitely was not paying attention to that.
Just a couple questions left. Alex, Tom mentioned if you do really good in Neon White, you get a secret rank.
Oh, God.
What's the name of the secret rank?
He's not going to remember this at all. There's no way. No fucking way.
I made sure to bring extra attention to it, Tom, and ask you about it.
I thought you were going to say, if you win, you get to go to, where do you get to go? And I'd be like, oh, heaven, obviously. Say the question again. You get a special item?
No, so if you do really good, you get the top rank, but actually there's a secret top rank if you do really good. But the game doesn't tell you what you have to get, unlike the other ranks to achieve that. What's the name of that secret rank? It's kind of like how racing games I mentioned.
Archangel?
No, it's secret double ace. Double ace. All right, just a couple questions left. Tom.
Yep.
When I lied about a video game called String Theory.
Yep.
What games did I compare it to? There are 3 games that I compared it to.
Okay.
2 that I compared to the gameplay, 1 that I compared to the look.
12 minutes. 12 minutes was one.
That refreshed my memory.
Death Deathloop was another.
Yep.
There was a third one? I don't remember.
There's a third one. What did I say it looks like? So those are the two I said the gameplay is a little bit similar to. Escapists. You got it.
Oh, yeah.
Alex, when did I say that game's coming out?
Fuck if I care.
This fall.
Fuck if I care.
That's right. Pick up String Theory, a game that doesn't exist this fall. And final question, Tom.
Yeah.
What species are Trapinch and Vibrava based on that is not a dragonfly?
Oh, fuck off. I literally have no clue.
That's all right. It was the Antillian. That's the final round.
Get
Tom.
the fuck out of here.
You win 2-0. Congratulations.
Win, fuck off with that.
Congrats. Great job.
Thank you.
I promise not to make up more fake games that tell people.
No, I think my favorite bit of
end.
yours is making shit up and then reveal. Like I get super excited about it.
Good reveal. It's been good reveals.
The
2 times.
I know, but if I keep doing it now, then everything I say is going to called into question. Yeah. I can't keep doing that.
You know, sporadically.
I don't know what happened the other day, but I came up with the idea for that string theory game. I think I read the word somewhere and somebody I was reading. And I was like, oh, that's a good name for a game. And then then I sent you guys a message like, we're playing Game or No Game. And I was like, actually, it'd be funnier if I pretended this was a real game.
That's so funny. So we're about to obviously wrap up the show. I do want to point out, Wolf's Law has joined the chat. He says, hey, guys. And if you want to join... He's here in the live chat.
He can stay for the post show.
He can stay for the post show. If you do subscribe at the $5 level on Patreon, not only can you watch us live like Wolf's Lore is doing, but you can also watch the post show, both live and post recorded. If it's so good of a post show, you can go back and rewatch it. So make sure to go check out the Patreon if you haven't already. $5 a month gets you the live show and the post show, and Zuko barking in the background.
Hell yeah.
You get that for free, actually. You don't have to pay for that one.
Very nice. Alex.
Yeah. TunaTaygaryen on Twitter and PlayStation, and TunaSpaceTargaryen on Xbox.
Tom.
GreatBriTom on each and every platform.
I am Christian_Humes on the internet. We are the Unranked Podcast. Click on more details or show notes or whatever it's called in your podcast app. Join the Discord. Send us an email. Leave a review. Do whatever. Interact with us. We like it. Join us. And stay unranked. That's what we're going to do. Anyone want to tell him?
Tom.
Sorry, Zuko. Zuko, you can suck it.